Here are my speaking notes that I wrote. They're just I don't know. I hope you can see that. But yeah, they're just plain and simple. And then my audience is gonna be my mom. Her name is Maria. Say hi.
Hi.
And okay, so this is my my project. I'm just gonna leave this here. So okay, I'm gonna start now. So mom, I'm in my project on how to run faster. Um, if we go to the next slide. So why do you want to run faster? How does it benefit you? Do you want to run faster because you're an athlete and you do sports and it's going to benefit you in the sport that you do? Do you want to run faster simply for your health? Do you want to run faster just for the sake of it? Maybe a new hobby that you picked up? Well, why do you want to listen to me on teaching you how to run faster? Well, as you know, I played soccer for a long time now, right? And I've done a lot of training on speed. Actually, speed is a very important variable of my game. Without speed, my game will be very weak. So obviously, I've trained a lot on how to run faster. So if you want to know how to run faster, I know all the tips. So the three basic simple ways to running faster include technique, strength, and most importantly, nutrition. So since nutrition is the most important one, let's begin with nutrition. So with nutrition, we have what is carbs, proteins, and water. And I think that the most important one of them all is actually the carbohydrates. Why are the carbohydrates the most important ones? Because they're the fuel to your body. They're like gas and a car. Without carbohydrates, your body's not gonna function properly as how it should when you're training. So for example, let's say that throughout the day you haven't really eaten anything. Comes to 5 p.m. you have a training. You're not gonna do as effective as you should be doing if you're eating your carbohydrates. How many carbohydrates should you eat in a day? Well, it really depends on your training. But if you're a 160-pound male, you should be eating at least 27 calories per pound, which at the end of the day come up to around 4,300 calories that you should be eating. Well, now depending on how much you're training, you could be eating up to 5,000 calories, 6,000 calories. Some people even eat up to 7,000 calories. So it all depends. So carbohydrates are very important because of that. Now here come your protein. Protein is what will make your muscles grow. After hard trainings that you did, your muscles deplete, so you need protein to make them bigger and stronger. How much protein should you be eating in a day? Approximately, if you have an intense day of training, you should possibly be eating around 1 gram per pound. So if you weigh 160 pounds again, 160 grams of protein. However, you should be dividing that throughout the day. You can't just train and then come at 5 p.m. and you try to eat 100 grams of protein at a time. Why? Because your body can only intake 30 grams of protein at a time. Meaning that if you eat 100 grams, your body's only going to use 30 grams of protein and the other 70 grams of protein is going to go to waste. So you should be waking up early, getting in 30 grams of protein as soon as you wake up, whether that's in 5 eggs, whatever it is. Get your carbohydrates in, get some bread, get some rice, get some beans, and then you go to train, you come back, you eat another 30 grams of protein, and so on. You have to divide it into 30 grams of protein per meal. Some big athletes eat up to 5 meals to 6 meals in a day just to get all them calories, all their protein, all of that in. And of course, hydration. Why is hydration important? Well, our muscles are made up of 70% of water, meaning that even if you eat the proper carbs and the proper proteins, if you don't eat, if you drink sufficient water, your muscles are not gonna grow because you're not giving them another part of like technically fuel that they need because they're made up of water. So water is very important. How much water should you be drinking? Well, for a 160-pound male, you should be drinking just under a gallon of water. Now, if you sweat, you work hard throughout the day, that it might be double. Some people, I personally drink around 8 to 9 water bottles a day, and I think I should be drinking more. But that's with nutrition. However, we still have supplements. Now, supplements like whey protein, those are common proteins that people take. There's like a plant-based protein that you could take if you are only a plant-based eater, whatever it is. But proteins, what I recommend about them is that you shouldn't replace them with meals. Like you shouldn't replace your meals with protein is what I mean. Meaning that protein is just a thing that you should do if you run out of time throughout the day. It's 12 at night and you don't have time to eat another meal. You take a protein. Why? Because proteins like whey protein can have a lot of bad side effects on your body. So I recommend that you only take 1 scoop a day. Some people take 2 scoops a day, and that's bad. That could do a lot of damage to your body, to your organs. So that's why I recommend only 1 scoop of protein, and that's if you don't eat your enough meals. You shouldn't be eating more than 1 scoop of protein per day. Now with that, since we got the nutrition covered, we should move on to strength, which is an important factor of running. Now, as you can see in this picture, this guy has pretty big muscles. Like, those are huge muscles. They're pretty defined. He has well-defined quads. I'm pretty sure his hamstrings are well. However, this isn't what people that are trying to get faster should focus on. They shouldn't focus on building a lot of muscle. They shouldn't focus on heavy lifting, because that will actually slow you down. What you should be focusing on is to actually go out in the field and do proper exercises for speed. If that's what you want to focus on, do proper exercises for speed. Some of the exercises that you may do is you grab a chair and you just you step 1 foot on the chair and then you climb up, and you have to be explosive with your movements. Those are the best ways that you will be explosive, because that's what you train for. That's what speed is, to be explosive, not to have big muscles, because big muscles don't necessarily equal strength, or I mean, they don't necessarily equal power or strength or whatever it is. So in the field, as you guys, these guys are training in the field. They have a proper body technique. Their arms are straight in a line. They're moving their knees all the way up. These are proper techniques that your body needs, or the practices, or the type of practice that you should be putting into speed. Some of the exercises that you can do while training for speed out in the field are exercises like jump squats, broad jumps, tuck jumps, just a bunch of jumps, because jumping will give you more power into your legs to get better at running. In this video right here, as you can see, so here's a band. This is what I use sometimes to work on my speed, and people underestimate how much a band can actually help you and benefit you when you're trying to run faster. So in this video, it just shows you a couple of the exercises that you can do.
This next exercise is the band chops. Simply drive your knee up with the resistance bands underneath your planted foot on the ground. Every time you drive your knee up, out and hold. You need to make sure that you're driving your knee up first and then kicking out your leg to point on a 45-degree angle downwards.
So as you can see,
this is the band kick out.
He's really working on lifting that knee up. And why is it important to lift that knee up? Is because when we run, the fastest Olympic runners in the world, they focus really on the technique of lifting those knee ups, because the more you lift those knee ups, the more power you will put on the ground to actually push yourself forward. And that's very important. So that's why it's very important to practice on the band, because the band will make small muscles in your legs, like the hip flexors, muscles that people underestimate when working out, that when those muscles get stronger, you actually get faster, and those muscles are only they only really get stronger using bands. You can't really go into the gym and do squats and expect that your those little muscles are gonna get stronger. They're tiny muscles in the body that if trained effectively will get you the results you want. So those are some exercises that you could do with the band. And from there we move on to technique. So as I was saying, technique is very important. You need to drive those arms in a straight line. A lot of people, they run like this, and then that's a bad form, because that actually slows you down. It doesn't completely make you the slowest person. It's not gonna guarantee that you won't win a race or anything like that, but it does have an effect on your body. If you have proper technique, if you have your coordination properly, if you're driving those knees high up, you will have an advantage over the others. Now in this other video here, as you can see,
the podium from him,
I will tell you. So the winner of this race was actually the guy in the blue. He's from Italy. This guy came in second from the USA, and the guy from Canada came in third. Now just focus for a quick second. Focus on their arm movements. Look at this guy. This guy actually pulled a hamstring injury, but look how he's driving his arms. Now he's an Olympic like sprint runner, but just look at the guys that are top. They're making sure that their body techniques, they're driving those knee. Everybody's driving those knee up. But look at the guy from China as well. His arms are more like in this direction rather than straight. And look, just coincidentally, the guy that has the best form from Italy ends up winning the race. Now that's not a coincidence. That's proper training that you have to put into running. And even though you might not necessarily want to be an Olympic runner, the better technique that you have when you run, the better effective that you will be in your sport, whether that's in football, soccer, whatever the sport is that involves a lot of running. So that was that video. And then how do you train your coordination? Well, a ladder. You could buy a ladder at Walmart for like $20. These ladders, you could just look up a bunch of videos on YouTube on like ladder exercises for coordination. If you do these exercises properly and you do them every week, at least 2 to 3 times a week, your coordination with your footwork and your arms will get better. And that won't just help you with sprinting, but it would also help you in your sports. The better coordination you have with your feet, the better you will be at whatever sport you play, especially football and soccer. Soccer, especially, that's a sport that you use your feet a lot. The more coordinated you are with your feet, the better you'll be on the ball, the better you'll be to react to things. So these are literally the only three simple ways that I can give you to get to be a faster sprinter. And whatever you want to use it for your benefit, whether you want to be an athlete, whether you want to be for your health or just a hobby, this is how you'll get faster. So yeah, thank you for listening, and thank you, teacher.
So interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. And with that, in conclusion, yeah, that's how you're faster. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.